Hey Tooth Fairy, welcome to today's episode where I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into essentially what to avoid at the gym, right? I have a lot of hygienists. They come to me and they express that I don't know what to do at the gym, or a lot of times they're like, I just hop on the machines, right? There's really no thought process at all, no structure, no routine, no intention behind what they're doing. Maybe people think that it could be safer or it's just kind of taking the brain work out of it. But at the end of the day, machines are causing more harm than good. So I'm going to talk to you today about the 5 reasons why not to use the weight machines at the gym. So stay tuned. Here we go.
Hey there! Welcome to the Lift for Longevity podcast, where our goal is to build our strongest, healthiest body. We all deserve to feel our best, but since we only get one body, we have to make sure to protect it by moving safely and with purpose to prevent pain, injury, and surgery. I'm your host, Brianne, and I'm a fit pro turned business owner and also a girl mom. I'm obsessed with educating and empowering dental pros on how to take care of their body by training efficiently and building the right muscles to prolong their career. I know you're tired of spending time working out but still dealing with annoying aches and pains, getting rid of your pain temporarily only to have it come right back just a few hours later, or feeling like you never have any energy. You wish there was a long-term solution to get rid of your pain for good. Well, I'm here to give you real-life, actionable steps that you can take today to get rid of your pain, say goodbye to quick fixes, and have energy to live a life that you love. So if you're ready to get stronger, enjoy your life outside the operatory, and have longevity in your career, grab yourself a high-protein snack and let's get to it.
Okay, so today I'm taking a deep dive into why I don't recommend machines at the gym for my clients. And, if you're thinking like, well, I use the cables, cool. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those machines where you sit down, right? You might work the chest or the back or like whatever. I'll get into specific machines later, but to me, when I hear gym machines, I'm like, oh my God, it's so 1980s. Like literally people would go do a little bit of cardio, maybe some jazzercise even, step aerobics, whatever. And then like hop on machines to strength train. Like it's so antiquated, just like in dentistry, like there's so many things that are like so antiquated. Like, I don't know, amalgam, right? You're probably like, oh my God, I was working as an assistant when I'm like, why do we still have this, right? We just need to evolve with the times. So I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to give you the 5 reasons why I don't recommend the gym machines or the weight machines at the gym. Okay, so the first reason I don't like gym machines, and these are in no particular order, but you're working in a fixed range of motion. Like it's not a natural range of motion, right? And, when we have imbalances in hygienists, like, rounded shoulders, for example, our shoulder joints misaligned, we have a lot of muscle tension, tightness, we already have poor, limited range of motion. And so this is just kind of exacerbating that, right? Or on the flip side, I see a lot of hygienists, they're so hypermobile, right? So they're like overextending on things, which is also doing more damage. It can lead to injury of tendons and ligaments. So there's a lot of things where we always want to like gain the most range of motion possible for us. But obviously you don't want to have too much, right? You don't want to go into hyperextension, but we need to make sure that we are having an appropriate amount of range of motion for our particular body so that we can recruit the most muscle fibers to build muscle. Okay. And then the other thing I'm going to touch on this is you're not working any stabilizer muscles. So think about like a chest fly machine. If you're using that, you're not working the stabilizer muscles. But contrary to that, if you're using like dumbbells, your stabilizer muscles also have to work in conjunction to those big, larger muscles to help, stabilize the bones, the joints, everything, right, throughout that entire movement. And so it's just, more bang for your buck, if you will. So that's the first reason. The second reason, of course, you can't work on muscle imbalances on a damn machine. Like when we're dealing with imbalances, we have weaknesses, right? We have to correct these weaknesses. A lot of my clients are using bands or, maybe dumbbells, kettlebells, those are interchangeable. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day what we're particularly using to fix the imbalance. The important thing is what we're not using. We're not sitting a machine, just like going through motions, using both of our arms at one time or both of our legs at one time, bilateral work. We want to do more unilateral, which is like a single leg movement or a single arm movement because, especially like say a lot of hygienists have a pelvic tilt, right? One side is higher, one side's lower. And so with that, obviously one side is weaker. And if you're doing all these, two-legged movements, squats, lunges, whatever, deadlifts, your stronger leg always takes over. We always have a dominant side, right? And you're just reinforcing that pattern. So when we're working on imbalance, like A, there's things we need to do, but B, another part of that is going to be unilateral work, right? So that we can essentially get them to be more symmetrical. Of course, nobody's perfectly symmetrical, so that's not the goal, but the goal is to make them as balanced as possible. Okay, number 3 is all machines, they have this universal sizing, right? Like my daughter, she's 5'1", I believe. How is she going to go use a machine that like my boyfriend, who's like 6'1", is going to use? Like that doesn't even make sense. And to be honest with you, the setup is a bitch. And I'll give you an example. My friend, she's a personal trainer in person, but she's looking to do a little bit online. So she reached out to me and she said, hey, she doesn't even know how to use machines. She's like, can you come to the gym with me? I want you to show me how to use machines so that I can, educate my clients, my online clients, how to use these machines. And I was like scratching my head thinking, okay, but like, why are you even doing this? So we get to the gym and, just for like a hamstring curl, right? You've got to move the back so that it's at the appropriate height. You have to adjust the foot so that it's, on your ankle essentially, but then when you curl, like it might roll up or down, so you have to make sure that that's appropriate. Then the part that's right above your knee, like there's so much to it. And so I was like, why are you doing this? Like this is more difficult in my eyes for your clients when they can just go do like a hamstring curl with a dumbbell or something. And she was like, well, don't tell me what to do. Like I've already decided. I'm like, okay. But at the end of that like hour, her wheels are spinning. She was like, this is not as easy as I thought. Like setting all this up was going to take her clients more time. So A, it's not as efficient, but B, every machine's different. And so it's like, how do you even know? Or like, if you have, like I said, a client who's of average height or shorter or taller, like it's just too much to even think about. Like, I just don't like that because again, we're all different, right? Our bodies are different and we need to be able to have our own, movement patterns and our own range of motion and so on and so forth. So anyways, okay. Number 4 is they're bad for our joints. So think about like the leg extension machine where you're like, you're bringing your foot up, squeezing the quad. Like that's a lot on your knee joint, right? Versus a squat where you have your ankles, your knees, and your hips are kind of all working in conjunction to stabilize your muscles and your bones. So if you're just isolating like one little area, which I talk about isolating a lot, so it's kind of a different isolation because again, it's in that fixed position where you're forcing the quad to, work as hard as it can essentially. And then it's just a lot more on the knees. And what I see in hygienists is they already have their center of gravity as forward because of the forward head posture, like everything's pushed forward. So there's already so much tension on their knees. And I've talked about this a million times that like when I see their lunge and their squats and their step ups, like their knees just shoot forward and it's like, like it's already so much on your knees. And so we need to do whatever we can to like minimize that, right? Our joints are not supposed to bear weight. Our muscles are supposed to bear weight. So we have to make sure that we are always having the tension and the stress on our muscles. With that being said, another machine is like the rear delt fly. Like I used to train my daughter, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And, it's a very small range of motion to hit the rear delt. And on the machine, she would go back further than she needed to, and her upper traps would take over. And so I was always like educating her, like, look, do you feel this? Like, this shouldn't be like you're not working the right muscle. And that's in a perfect example for a hygienist, right? Where the upper traps are just always fucking on fire. So if you're going to do a rear delt machine and you're having too much extension, which I guarantee you probably are again, because I see a lot of that hypermobility in hygienists, then, oops, you're working the wrong muscles. Sorry, I just knocked my computer off because I'm getting excited. So that's just a perfect example of how a machine can be more detrimental than using, a dumbbell or a resistance band. Okay, the last point, number 5, is zero or like, oh my gosh, you literally just sit like a blob on a machine and you're going through motions. Like, how counterproductive is that? Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it makes zero sense. Like if you're just going to sit and work a couple muscles, like you are wasting so much time where you could go do that same exercises standing or kneeling or half kneeling, right? And tuck that pelvis and close that rib cage and really engage the core so that you're working everything, as one unit. And this is like my whole philosophy when it comes to fitness. We need to work everything holistically, right? Our body works together, all of it, right? So we need to train it like that. So if you're just going to sit down on a machine, like you're just wasting your time, right? Because everything we do stems from our core. And so we need to make sure that we're training that way, right? So that we're building a strong core, and then that's our foundation. Then we can build upon that, not necessarily in that order, but like having that kind of at the same time, right? While we're working our core and our stabilizing muscles while we're building our big muscles, if that makes sense. Well, hopefully this was helpful because I am just a big fan of working efficiently and not wasting time in the gym. And I think, most of my clients can resonate with that. Like, why do you want to waste time? You want to do things that are efficient and benefiting your body so that you can, have a strong body for your career, right? To have longevity in your career, but also for your life. So that's all I have for today. Let me know what questions you have. Shoot me a DM. And as always, have a wonderful week. Stay strong.
Thank you so much for listening in today. I hope you got a takeaway from this episode. And if you did, would you be so kind to share it with another dental pro you think would benefit from it? I know you love learning, and chances are that they do too. Also, I would love to connect with you on Instagram, so go ahead and head over to the Lift for Longevity podcast page or follow me at Built by Brianne. If you shoot me a message saying hello, I will personally respond because I love chatting with dental pros. Before you go, though, I want to let you know that I appreciate you and what you do, and I hope to chat soon. Until next time, stay strong.